Good evening. Namaste. Divine within me recognize and honors the divine within you, for truly we are one. So we come together tonight in this oneness. We come together to remember the truth. We come together to leave outside any of those things that might be in the way of the full glory and the love and the light of God moving through us and shining brightly. So this is a blessed time. May your whole being open and feel the blessings. We'll start our service with our gong. It's a Buddhist tradition to bring us into the now. So with everyone, I just invite you to just bring your attention to your breath and be here now. So good evening, everyone. Welcome to our Amazing Grace service. So nice to have that midweek reminder. That's truly what this journey is about, because we already know all the information. It's already within there. We have the source that is sourcing us and delivering to us and making available to us always. But sometimes we forget. But as we remember, it's as if the spotlight gets put on it and it becomes bright and shines through and as our life. And so that's what we're here to do tonight. We're here to remember. We're following along all year with the book, The Way of Mastery. It's a book that's put out by the Shanti Cristo Foundation. And we've probably sold over 60 of them here at Seaside, and I've talked to different groups that are popping up all over. It's kind of like the new Course of Miracles. It's a powerful book because the truths are so profound, and it's so condensed in just to a couple of pages where you can read it, and as you really contemplate on it, it just activates within you that remembering, that truth that we're talking about. So tonight we're working on chapter 4 in the first section of it, the first 12 sections on the Way of Mastery. And chapter 4 is about following the thread of desire. And it's a powerful chapter because as we look at desire, as they talk about it in the book, they talk about desire as literally being the activity of God that's individualized as you. For each of us are this unique place because none of us are the same. All of us has had infinite just amounts of creation that has come into our life that it's made us uniquely ourselves. And as we have these thoughts and as we have these wishes and as we have these desires, they are uniquely placed upon us because it's something that is a perfect match that fits us exactly. And so it's almost as if the universe is speaking to us, and all that we could ever think of or all that we could desire, and even more than that, is speaking to us, is talking to us every single second. And so our journey is to be awake, is to hear it. And everything first starts with a desire. Without desire, we would see nothing. Everything has a thought that goes behind it. Before you ever take a bite, there's a desire to take a bite. Before you go to sleep, before you go to the bathroom, before you get up, before you walk, before you move your arm, before you do everything, there's a desire. The spiritual journey is about being aware and conscious. I want to share with you just some information as they started this. It says, desire is like the liquid of life that moves through the stem of the rose and allows the petals to radiate with glorious color. When you block the flow, the petal cannot be nourished. Death begins to occur. Death of the heart, death of the soul, and lifelessness. It goes on to say that if you look into the eyes of some of those that might be around you, you will recognize that death seems to have already made a home in the minds of many that are living. Death of dreams, death of hope, death of worthiness, death of playfulness, death of true power, and death of union with our source and creator has already taken place. So, desire is like it says in the book, it's like the life elixir. It's like the flow of life that moves through us. And as we become aware of it and we don't block it, then it allows us to blossom and become the petals that we are. They used a really great analogy, and we've all heard this a lot before, but as I read it this time, it really came home to me. And it talked about all of us. In fact, I'll read it and then elaborate on it. It says, like waves arising from the sea, those creations remain linked eternally to their Creator. The waves arrive to express the beauty, the creativity, the truth, and the reality of the ocean itself. It knows not birth or death, only expression. Using that example of the ocean and each of us as waves, that we are these waves that come forth, never separated from its source, always part of it, but a unique individual expression. The wave comes forth for one purpose only, to express. It becomes seen. It becomes a place where beauty is, where creativity is, where reality is. And when we look at ourselves in the same way, if God is the ocean and we are the waves, we are never separate from it. We are part of it, and we well forward, if you will, to be that place where beauty and expression and greatness is seen. It's always there. It's within us. And it talks about that there's no birth and there's no death. There's only expression. And that's what we are. And the desire, if you will, it is the propulsion that pulls forth the wave. It is that power that pulls it forth that is within us. They ask the question, and one of the exercises they have in the book is, what do I truly want? And the exercise in the book invites us to wake up every morning and start to become more aware of what do I really want? What do I really desire? Which really means I'm conscious and aware of what's wanting to be expressed through me. What direction am I being pulled right now? Instead of waking up in the morning saying, okay, I got to go to work, I got to jump in the shower, I got to go do this, I got to do that. What if we were to stop and we were to be conscious and we were to say, what do I truly want right now? Well, I want to take a shower. I want to feel the warmth of water. Or I want to taste the cup of coffee. Or I want to sit quietly and observe the garden, or the flowers, or the ocean, or whatever it is. What if we were to live our life in each and every moment asking, what do I really want right now? Which really means, what really wants to be spoken through me? What wants to be expressed through me? For if we're the source, if we're the wave that is coming forth from the source, then it already has the power within it. It already has everything within it to push it forward into expression. But the challenge that we have is we're not listening. We live our life from this outside place of making things happen and doing, going, creating, just doing the same thing over and over again. And we've stopped that very magical aspect of listening and asking the very powerful question, what do I truly want? Asking is the way the universe talks to us. It's the way Source and God talks to us. Because when we ask a question and we're silent, we get an answer. In fact, there's never a question that we ask that isn't eventually answered. And we sharpen that skill by asking and becoming individuals that are, instead of out there doing and pushing the world and trying to make it happen, but we become individuals that are listening, that are asking what we want, and trusting it enough that the activity that we do comes from what's coming from that source that's inside of us, that's guiding, that's leading us, that's creating through us. All of us have this potential and so much that is within us that the universe just wants to speak, just wants to create. But if we're not listening, if we're not really asking, if we're not hearing, then we're missing out on so much of what we could possibly be doing and what we possibly could be, and the blessings and the good that are in store for us, simply because we're not listening. So the most powerful part that I got out of this entire chapter was just that. Ask the question, what do I want? I know right now we're just finishing up our Power of the Word class, which is a class on prayer. And as practitioners, we know that when people come to us, there's always a story. So-and-so's doing this, or my child's doing this, and there's this big giant story around it. And the very first thing that we ask as practitioners is, what do you want? What is the outcome that you want? And it's really a powerful question, because as we've practiced it in class, even myself, I've sat there and go, you really have to think deeply about, what do I want? What is the outcome I want? What am I creating here? What do I really desire? It's really not that easy of a question. And when we can speak it, when we can formulate it in our mind, and when we can speak it, that's when we own it. Michael Beckwith says that in Visioning, that when we go within and we get silent and we capture an idea, when we can put our words to it, when we can start articulating it, when we can start speaking it, when we can start describing it, when we can start getting pictures of it, that's when it really becomes our own. And so the invitation of this chapter really is just that. It's the invitation, as we talk about desire, we talk about the flow of life, the elixir of life. It's the invitation for us to start asking, what do I truly want? And to start listening at a really deep level, so that we can be guided by God. We can be guided by the universe. We can be guided by the greatest intelligence that far exceeds the intelligence that we have within our own mind. In religious science, oftentimes we get caught up in this aspect of creating, and we are the creators, and we create through our words. We're co-creators of what happens. But sometimes we're creating from that ego aspect, from those things that we think we're trying to make happen, or that we see in the outside world. But when you step into the space of co-creating, where you're listening and you're becoming the vessel and vehicle, you will never get an idea, you will never get a desire that you don't already have within you everything necessary for its fulfillment. Spirit is forever, with its beautiful expressions and all of its gifts and all that it wants to give to this world. It's forever looking for the consciousness, that person that's the exact right vibration, the exact right individual to bring it into manifestation. There's more things that are wanting to be manifested out there. There's this infinite flow, this infinite river of good that's wanting to be manifested out there, but it's waiting for the correct consciousness, the one that stops, the one that gets quiet, the one that's listened, that it can be delivered unto. All ideas have come that way. Whether it's the invention of electricity or the internet or voicemail or TV or airplanes or boats, it took an individual consciousness that was the perfect right makeup to be able to receive the idea, to continue to listen, to be able to get the new ideas and the progression of the ideas, to be able to bring things to fruition. And we forget to be quiet. Forget to ask. The power is in the asking. What do I truly want? And then it's in listening and feeling. What does that feel like? Because when we ask and the answer comes, what do I truly want? It usually feels wonderful. It feels like, think about it when you say, well, what do I really want? Oh, I want to take a nice warm shower. You know, there's an activity that happens within our being that just feels good when we do things that we really want to be doing. And so it's a whole different way of literally living life by asking. I'm going to share with you a couple things that it said in there. It says, seek first the kingdom of God, and all things shall be added unto you, as the Bible said. Do not create a rose by starting with the petals, but nourish the root, and the flower must blossom. Go to the source. Seek ye first the kingdom. Go to the source. Go to that empty place of asking, and the flower must blossom when we ask for that which we want. There's a book out right now that's called Dying to Be Me. And actually, this was recommended, if any of you have seen Wayne Dyer on this PBS special right now as he's promoting his new book. He has this woman, her name's Anita Morjani, is I guess how it's pronounced. And it's the story of an individual, of a woman who's a young woman who had stage 4 cancer that had moved throughout her entire body. She had fought it for 4 years, and I'm not telling you anything more than what's on the jacket for you to read. She had been struggling with it for 4 years and finally got to the point where it had spread throughout her entire body, and her weight had gone down to about 90 pounds, and every single organ in her body had shut down. They'd taken her to the hospital because it was the end, and they knew that it was close to the end. She did end up making her transition and passing away, and the book is literally about that story, about what she discovered on the other side and the truth of it. And it's a I highly recommend it. In fact, I ordered 5 of them, and they'll be here on Sunday. So if you're interested in it, I'll have them in the bookstore by then. But it's a powerful, powerful story of exactly what we are saying. The biggest, greatest thing that she learned, number one, that cancer was not anything that was bad. It was not anything that she did wrong or on how she created it. It literally was kind of the sum total of living in life in the world right now. But what she learned is that that's not the truth of who we are. That the truth is that we never have to worry about a thing. The truth is that we're more magnificent. We are just incredible, powerful human beings. That all of the worrying and all of the things that we've spent so much time and focus on and trying to fix in life are completely unnecessary. She talks about this in many ways. There's many chapters on this. But the other powerful thing that she said, and I've been hearing this more and more as I've talked to different people, is that we are supported. We have so much support that is around us from God, from the universe, from angels, from other beings, from whatever you want to call it or however you name it. She mentions and talks about that her father, who had passed away earlier, was there and has always been by her side. She saw all kinds of things. But that we are supported and guided and led always. And we are the only ones, through, if you will, putting a veil over the top of it, that has made it to where it appears to us to be invisible. But just as we say in this teaching, we are the wave of the ocean. The ocean is God. It is all good. It is magnificent. It is all loving. It is peace-filled. It is joy. It is abundance. It is wholeness. And we are the swelling up. We are the expression of it. No separation at all. That is the truth of who we are. So they talk about in the book that the greatest lesson that she got, and that what ended up happening, and this again is on the jacket, was that she realized that it wasn't her time, and she came back, and within days, all the cancer was gone from her body. Every ounce of it. Because of the shift of consciousness, the realizations that she had about the truth of her being, about who she was. And it was to live fearlessly and to live being love and to live being true to who you are and what you are created to be. And it seems that that's exactly what is being said in this chapter. That we are this wave, and already within the wave is every single thing necessary. Already within the wave is all the information, all the wisdom. Within the wave is everything that's wanting to be created, wanting to be expressed. Within this wave that we are is this peace, this love, this joy, this full expression. It's who and what we are. And we get to it by simply asking, what do I desire? What does the universe desire of me? What is the highest and greatest for me right here and right now? And listening and having the courage to follow through on it. To not get supposed tos, have tos, shoulds, all those things in the way, but to literally live our life from the aspect tuned in, as Abraham says, tuned in, tapped in, and turned on. Living our life from this holy listening, from this inside, from reliance on this power, reliance on this wisdom and faith and trust in this knowingness that is who we are. It's all around us. We are the ones that put the veil on it. We're the ones that kink the hose. We're the ones that tied the knot in it. He goes forth to say that in his own way. He says, imagine drawing from a well that is endless. Something is pouring forth from places unseen. Think about that sentence. Something is pouring forth from places unseen. Always, in every minute, always. So this journey of metaphysics is stepping beyond the physical. That's one of the hardest parts because we're so used to seeing it in quick fixes. But something is pouring forth always from something unseen. It's the power. If you could only see how much enlightened help there is surrounding you at every moment, you would rest assured. If you could only see that it's already done, that it's all around us, it's there for the asking. So I invite you to do that exercise. What do I want? What do I truly want? And see if you can live in that. And start first by just doing it in the morning for about 5 minutes and just starting to live from that until you can begin to live from that in an even fuller basis. What you're doing is tapping into the infinite when you do that. You're tapping into the infinite of ideas and all that's possible. And if you have a partner or you have a friend or somebody that you can do it with, both of you do it together. And then share what you got. What do you truly want? What do you want? And watch this teaching that we talk about, that the universe delivers to us, that calls to us everything necessary and brings to us everything for its fulfillment. Begin to have the eyes of God to be able to see that it's true, that it's happening, that it's there. So let us become receivers. Let us be open. Let us be available to the divine. Let us get quiet. And let us become that place where God makes manifest its infinite glories, its infinite expressions, its infinite good. Because we're the consciousness that's primed, open, available, and allowing. That's who we are. That's the truth of us. So I invite you, if you choose to, also to pick up that book and read it. And really, it really brought a lot of peace about that it's all is well. It's all okay. It's a glorious life, and we are magnificent beyond belief. And we're here to live fearlessly, and we're here to be 100% authentically ourself, which is that wave, that expression of the divine in its own beautiful, unique way. So let us turn within as we anchor this truth and we remember this truth tonight. As we move into that space, recognizing that one power and that one presence that we call God, that is the source of all, that is the wave, that is the ocean, which is what we are part of. No separation, cannot be separated. All that the ocean is in the wave. Every part, every piece, every power, every nutrient, all truth. The same is true for us. And so we stand as these beautiful vessels, these beautiful vehicles, this beautiful expression of the divine that has infinite possibility of what can move through and as our life and our beingness. And so I give thanks for this truth and this knowingness. I release this word into that infinite yes, knowing that it is done. I watch with a heart that's filled with gratitude, the beautiful manifestation of something bigger, greater than I have ever known or have imagined before. I am open, willing, and available. And I allow it to be. And so it is. Amen. May you always feel the embrace of God. May your life reflect joy and abundance and happiness. May your heart radiate with love. And may you know that your every step is guarded and guided. And may you feel, sense, and know God's amazing grace. For it is in, through, and around, and as us always. God bless you all. Go forth in peace. Good night.